Hey guys, I never imagined the call that would shatter my life would come on a quiet Thursday evening. The sky was painted in hues of orange and pink, the kind of sunset that usually made me pause and appreciate the beauty of life. But that day, beauty was the last thing on my mind. It was my cousin, Jake. He never called out of the blue, and when I answered, his voice was unsteady, hesitant. Hey, man, I need to talk to you about something. Can we meet? I frowned, confused. Sure. Everything okay? A pause. A long, heavy pause. Then, just meet me at O'Malley's. It's important. Something in his voice felt off. It wasn't the usual casual tone he had when he needed to borrow money or ask for a favor. It was heavier, like he was struggling under the weight of whatever he was about to say. When I arrived at the bar, Jake was already there, nursing a whiskey. His knee bounced restlessly, his fingers drumming against the glass. As soon as he saw me, he exhaled sharply, like he'd been holding his breath. I don't know how to say this, he started, gripping his glass tighter. But you need to know. The air between us shifted. You need to know what, Jake? He hesitated, then finally met my eyes. It's Lisa. She's cheating on you. A slow, creeping numbness crawled up my spine. The words didn't register at first, like my brain refused to process them. What the hell are you talking about? I laughed, though there was no humor in it. Jake flinched, but he didn't back down. I didn't believe it either at first. But, man, I saw it with my own eyes. I felt something inside me crack. Who? My voice was a whisper. A plea. Jake swallowed, looking like he wanted to be anywhere but here. It's Mike. The world blurred around me. My cousin. My blood. The guy who'd stood beside me at my wedding, clapping me on the back as I married the woman I thought I'd spend forever with. I clenched my fists. My vision turned red. You'd better be sure, I growled. Because if you're wrong, I swear to. Jake reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. I wouldn't have come to you if I wasn't sure. He tapped on the screen, and then, my world ended. The video wasn't grainy. It wasn't unclear. It was them, Lisa and Mike, tangled together in the sheets of a hotel bed, laughing, kissing, betraying me. My ears rang. My heart pounded so hard I thought it might break through my chest. And then, just as the darkness threatened to consume me whole, Jake said something that chilled me to the bone. There's more, man. A lot more. I had no idea how deep the betrayal really went, but I was about to find out. The web of lies. I don't remember leaving the bar. One moment, I was staring at the video, the sounds of Lisa's laughter and Mike's voice echoing in my ears, and the next, I was outside, gasping for air. The streetlights blurred as I tried to steady myself. My mind was racing, my hands shaking with rage. I wanted to punch something, anything, but violence wouldn't fix this. Jake followed me out, hesitating before speaking. I didn't want to show you like this, man, but you had to know. I turned to him, my jaw clenched so tight it hurt. How long? He exhaled, rubbing the back of his neck. At least 3 months. That's when I first started noticing things. The weird glances, the way they acted when you weren't around. But I didn't have proof until last week. Last week? My voice was hoarse, raw. And you waited until now to tell me? I had to be sure. Jake snapped. This isn't something you just throw at someone without proof. I wanted to protect you. Protect me. The words felt like acid in my throat. I didn't feel protected. I felt ripped apart. I turned my back on him, trying to breathe, trying to think, but my mind was a mess of memories. Lisa's late nights at work. The secretive texts. Mike avoiding my calls more often. The gut feeling I had ignored for months, convincing myself I was just being paranoid. I wasn't paranoid, I was blind. And then Jake dropped another bomb. I think there's more, he said carefully. I don't think Mike is the only one. I spun around so fast that he took a step back. What the hell are you saying? Jake held up his hands. I don't know for sure, but I overheard Lisa talking to someone on the phone last week. I only caught a bit of it, but she sounded guilty, panicked. She said something about keeping it quiet and how she couldn't afford for you to find out everything. I felt like I was going to be sick. So what? Now she's just screwing half the damn city. I spat, my voice shaking with fury. I don't know, Jake admitted, but I think Mike was just the start. I pressed my hands against my face, trying to force the rage down, trying to stop the storm inside me from consuming everything in its path. "Tell me everything you know," I finally said. Jake nodded grimly. "You might not like what you hear." "I already don't," I said. "But I need to know. Because if Lisa had been lying to me about this, what else had she been hiding? And how much worse could it get?" The hidden truth. Jake hesitated, and I could tell he was holding something back. My patience was razor thin, my body practically vibrating with anger. "Spit it out, Jake." He sighed and ran a hand through his hair. "Look, I didn't just hear Lisa talking to someone. I saw her, man, with another guy. Not Mike, someone else." My blood ran cold. "What?" "It was 2 weeks ago. I was at the mall, grabbing some stuff, and I saw Lisa in the parking lot. She was getting into some black Audi. I didn't think much of it until I saw the guy behind the wheel. He wasn't Mike." My hands clenched into fists. "Who was he?" Jake shook his head. "I don't know. Never seen him before. But I swear, the way she looked at him, the way she leaned in close." He exhaled sharply. "It wasn't innocent." My stomach twisted into knots. One affair was already too much. But multiple? Had my entire marriage been a lie? "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" I demanded. "I wasn't sure what I saw," Jake said defensively. "I wanted to believe I was wrong, man. I didn't want to ruin your marriage if it was nothing. But it was something." Lisa had been lying to me for God knows how long, sneaking around like I was some clueless idiot. The worst part? I was clueless. I had trusted her completely, and now? I needed answers. I yanked my phone out of my pocket and hovered over Lisa's name. My thumb trembled over the call button. I wanted to confront her, to hear her stammer out some pathetic excuse. But no, not yet. If Lisa was hiding more, I needed to catch her. I turned to Jake. "You still got the footage of her and Mike?" Jake nodded. "Send it to me." He hesitated. "What are you gonna do?" "Find out how deep this betrayal goes," I said, my voice like steel. "And then? I'm going to destroy them. Because this wasn't just about infidelity anymore. This was war. The trap is set." Jake sent the video to my phone, and I watched it again, forcing myself to endure every sickening second. Lisa, Mike, together, in a hotel bed that wasn't ours. The way she smiled at him, the same smile she used to give me. I wanted to put my fist through the nearest wall, but rage wouldn't help me now. I needed to be smart. "Jake," I said, my voice eerily calm, "I need more proof." He frowned. "Man, you already got the video? What else do you need? If she's been sneaking around with more than one guy, I need to know. I need to see it. I want to catch her in the act. No room for excuses." Jake exhaled sharply. "You're not thinking straight. This is already brutal enough. Just confront her. Get it over with." "No," I snapped. "She's a liar. If I confront her now, she'll deny everything, twist the truth, make me out to be the bad guy. I need undeniable proof." Jake rubbed his face. "So what's the plan?" I took a deep breath. "I'm setting a trap. The plan first. I started acting normal. If Lisa suspected I knew anything, she'd go into damage control. I needed her to believe I was still blind, still the trusting husband who never saw it coming. For 2 days, I played my role. I kissed her goodbye in the morning, texted her casually throughout the day, even brought home her favorite takeout. Meanwhile, Jake helped me track her movements. She did go to work. She did go to the gym. But then, there were the other places, a quiet little cafe on the other side of town, a secluded park late at night, a different hotel, not the one from the video with Mike. She wasn't just cheating. She was a professional liar. On the third night, I followed her myself. The night everything changed. Lisa had told me she was going out for a girls' night. She even put on that dress, the one she only wore on special occasions, the one she hadn't worn for me in over a year. She kissed me before leaving. "Don't wait up," she said with a smile that I barely resisted the urge to laugh in her face. As soon as she drove off, I tailed her. She didn't go to her friend's house. She drove straight to a downtown hotel. I parked a few spots away, my hands gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. I watched as she stepped out of the car, glancing around nervously. Then, he arrived. Not Mike. Someone else, not a man in a suit, expensive looking, probably mid-40s. He kissed Lisa on the cheek, whispered something in her ear that made her laugh. Then, they disappeared inside. I felt like I was watching a movie, Some sick, twisted version of my life where my wife was the villain. I took out my phone, clicked record, I filmed everything. The entrance. The way they touched. The way she lied so effortlessly, dumb, my heart pounded. My vision blurred with rage. But I kept my focus. Because now I had everything I needed. Lisa wasn't just cheating. She had built an entire second life behind my back, and soon I was going to burn it all down. The breaking point. I sat in my car for what felt like hours, watching the hotel entrance like a man possessed. The weight of what I had just recorded pressed down on me like a vice. Lisa wasn't just having an affair. She was living a double life. Mike was bad enough, but this guy? Some rich, suit-wearing stranger? Who else had she been with? How many more nights had she disappeared into places like this while I sat at home like an idiot? I clenched the steering wheel so hard my fingers ached. This wasn't just betrayal. This was deliberate deception, layer after layer of lies, covering up something much darker than I had ever imagined. And I still didn't know why, but I was about to find out. Confrontation or revenge? My first instinct was to storm into that hotel, drag Lisa out by her wrist, and make a scene she'd never forget. Let the whole world see what kind of woman she really was. But I stopped myself. No, not yet. That I wanted more. I needed more. If she was bold enough to lie to my face night after night, she had to be comfortable. She had to feel safe in her deception. So I let her. I drove home. I poured myself a drink, and I waited. At 2:37 a.m., Lisa finally walked through the door. Her heels clicked against the hardwood. She smelled of expensive perfume and alcohol. She didn't even look surprised to see me still awake. "Hey, babe," she said with a yawn, kicking off her shoes. Long night. Sarah had one too many drinks, so I had to take care of her. She lied. Right to my face. The rage boiled inside me, but I forced a smile. "That's nice of you," I said, my voice as smooth as silk. She leaned in to kiss me. I turned my head at the last second. She hesitated, just for a moment, but then shrugged and walked toward the bedroom. I sat there, gripping my glass so tightly I thought it might shatter. Not yet, but soon. The final piece of the puzzle. The next morning, while Lisa showered, I went through her phone. I already knew her passcode. She hadn't changed it because she didn't think she had to. There were no texts from Mike, nothing from the guy in the suit. She had been careful, deleting messages, keeping things clean. But then, I checked a hidden folder in her photo gallery, and there it was, picture after picture. Not just of her and Mike, not just of the suit guy. There were others, multiple men, different places, different settings, some in hotels, some in our own home while I was away on work trips. My stomach twisted. My vision blurred. Lisa hadn't just cheated. She had systematically destroyed our marriage over and over again. And worst of all, one of the pictures was of my brother. The moment everything snapped, I nearly dropped the phone. I had to blink several times, convinced my eyes were playing tricks on me. But there it was, Lisa, and my brother, Nate. I felt something inside me break. This wasn't just about infidelity anymore. This was something far worse. And now, I wasn't just going to expose her, I was going to ruin her. The fire begins. I stared at the picture of Lisa and my brother, Nate, for what felt like an eternity. My mind refused to process it. This wasn't real. This couldn't be real. Mike was bad enough. The suit guy was a gut punch. But Nate? My own blood. I felt my hands shaking, my pulse pounding so hard I thought my head might explode. Every memory I had of Nate, our childhood, the brotherhood we shared, the times we had each other's backs, shattered like glass. Had it all been a lie? Had he been smiling in my face while screwing my wife behind my back? I gripped Lisa's phone so tight I almost crushed it. She was sick, a liar, a manipulator, I stopped. No, I couldn't lose control now. Lisa had spent years carefully constructing her web of lies, but I was about to set it on fire. The perfect setup. I needed to be smart, calculated, precise, ruthless. So I planned. I spent the next 2 days gathering every shred of evidence I could. Screenshots, videos, call logs, the hidden photos. I wanted it all, but that wasn't enough. I wanted them to feel it. I started with Nate. I texted him, "Hey man, need to talk. Come by my place Saturday night. Just you." He responded instantly, "Of course, bro. Everything okay?" I almost laughed at the irony. "You have no idea. Nate. Next, I made sure Lisa had plans that night. I casually suggested she have another girls' night, knowing she would take the bait without hesitation. And finally, I reached out to Mike's wife. Her name was Erica. We had been friendly, but never close. I knew she had no idea what was going on. I sent her a message. Hey, Erica. I found something you need to see. It's about Mike. She responded almost immediately. What's going on? I sent her everything. The video, the texts, the hotel photos, the proof that her husband had been screwing mine. It took her 10 minutes to reply, and when she did, it was only one sentence. What do you want me to do? I smiled. Game on. The night everything burned Saturday night arrived, and everything was in place. Lisa left for her girls' night at exactly 7:30 p.m. I kissed her goodbye, told her to have fun, and watched her drive off, completely unaware that her entire world was about to collapse. At 8 o'clock, Nate showed up. He walked in, grinning, giving me our usual handshake. Man, you had me worried. What's up? I gestured toward the kitchen. Let's grab a drink first. He followed me, completely oblivious. I poured us both whiskey. He took a sip, still smiling. That was the last time he would ever smile at me. I pulled out my phone, tapped the screen, and slid it across the counter toward him. Recognize this? I asked. He frowned, confused, until he looked down. The color drained from his face. There it was. The picture of him and Lisa. Caught. Exposed. No escape. Nate, I said, my voice deathly calm. Tell me how long you've been screwing my wife. His hand shook as he put the glass down. Bro, I can explain. Can you? I asked, tilting my head. Because I'm really curious how you're going to explain this. I swiped the screen, showing him more. Texts. Secret meetups. Late-night calls. Nate looked like he was about to vomit. I messed up, man. I swear, I never meant to hurt you. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. You didn't just mess up, Nate. You betrayed me. You slept with my wife. And now? I leaned in. Now, I'm going to ruin you. His eyes widened. What do you mean? Before I could answer, there was a knock at the door. Right on time, I walked over and opened it. It was Erica. She stepped inside, her face cold and unreadable. And then, without a word, she pulled out her phone and held up the video of Lisa and Mike. Nate turned ghostly pale. Oh, F*****. Bingo. Yeah, I said, stepping aside. You two deserve each other. So why don't we all sit down and have a little chat? Erica walked in and closed the door behind her. I poured her a drink, and then we tore their world apart. The fallout begins. Nate sat frozen, his eyes darting between me and Erica. He looked like a cornered animal, desperate for an escape that didn't exist. Erica, on the other hand, was calm, too calm. I had expected anger, shouting, maybe even tears. But her silence was worse. She simply stared at Nate, as if she was seeing him for the first time. So, I said, swirling my whiskey, who wants to start? Nate swallowed hard. Look, shut up, Erica snapped, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. I don't want to hear a single excuse. Nate flinched but kept his mouth shut. I leaned forward. You were supposed to be my brother, Nate. You didn't just betray me. You betrayed our family. And for what? A few nights with my wife? He ran a hand through his hair, avoiding my gaze. It wasn't like that, man. It just happened. I let out a cold laugh. It just happened? That's the best you've got? Erica crossed her arms. I guess cheating just happens a lot for you, huh? Since you and Mike both had so much fun ruining our marriages together. Nate's head snapped up. Wait, Mike? Erica tossed her phone onto the table. The screen was still playing the video. Nate watched in horror as his best friend, Mike, the guy he had played basketball with every weekend, was caught on camera screwing my wife. His jaw clenched. That son of a b**********. Erica scoffed. Oh, now you're mad? Now it's a problem? I smirked. Let me guess. You didn't know Lisa was sleeping with him too, did you? Nate shook his head slowly. I had no idea. I leaned in, my voice deadly quiet. Now imagine how I felt when I found out about you. Silence. Nate rubbed his face, finally looking at me. IF asterisk 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 et up, man. I swear, I never meant for this to happen. I don't even know why I did it. It was stupid. Selfish. You chose to do it. I cut him off. Every single time. Don't act like this was some accident. Nate's eyes dropped to the floor. Good. Let him feel it. Lisa's world collapses. Then, as if on cue, my phone buzzed. Lisa, hey babe, heading home soon. Can't wait to see you, Redheart. The rage inside me boiled over into something cold and dangerous. I looked at Nate and Erica. You two should probably stick around for this. Erica tilted her head. Why? I grinned. Because Lisa's about to walk into the worst night of her life. The confrontation at 10:15 p.m. Lisa walked through the front door, humming to herself. She tossed her purse on the counter and stretched, oblivious to the three of us waiting in the dimly lit kitchen. Hey, babe, she started, then froze when she saw Erica and Nate. Her smile faltered. What's going on? I didn't answer. Instead, I grabbed her phone off the counter, unlocked it, and held it up for her to see. The pictures, the texts, the proof. Her face drained of color. Sit down, I ordered. She hesitated. Sit down. She flinched, then slowly lowered herself into the chair across from me. I slid my phone toward her. Take a good look, Lisa. Tell me, how many men have you been screwing behind my back? Her eyes darted around the room, searching for a way out. I don't know what you're talking about, Erica laughed coldly. Oh, come on. Don't insult us. We have all the proof. Lisa swallowed hard, her hands trembling. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Nate let out a bitter laugh. That's what you're going with? I leaned forward. No more lies, Lisa. How long? Tears welled in her eyes. I don't know, she whispered. Bullshit, I spat. Months? Years. Her silence told me everything I needed to know. My hands curled into fists. Why, Lisa? Why Nate? Why Mike? Who the hell else? She shook her head frantically. It didn't mean anything. It meant everything to me, I said coldly. And you threw it away like it was nothing. The tears spilled over. Please, we can fix this. We can go to therapy. I let out a dark chuckle. Fix this? Lisa, I don't want to fix a damn thing. I want you gone. Her breath hitched. What? I stood up, my chair scraping against the floor. You have 24 hours to pack your shit and leave. If you're still here after that, I'll have the cops remove you myself. Lisa started sobbing. But where will I go? Not my problem, I said coldly. She looked at Nate. What about you? Can I? Nate visibly recoiled. Are you kidding me? I want nothing to do with you. Her head snapped toward Erica. Please, you understand, right? You know how hard marriage can be, Erica smirked. Oh, don't worry, Lisa. I do understand, which is why I already filed for divorce. You should probably get started on that, too. Lisa's face crumpled. Please, I don't want to lose everything. I stared at her, completely devoid of emotion. You already did. And with that, I walked out of the kitchen, leaving her to drown in the wreckage of the life she had destroyed. The aftermath. Lisa was gone the next day. I filed for divorce immediately. The moment she realized she wouldn't get a dime from me thanks to our prenup, she completely broke down. Nate? He was done too. Our family turned their backs on him the second they found out. Mike? His wife took him for everything in the divorce. As for me, for the first time in years, I felt freed, and no more lies. No more betrayals. Just me, moving forward, leaving the past where it belonged, in ruins. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way.